What is up, guys, and welcome on in for the Week 8 Team Builder. Here in Week 8, the Miami Heatran are going to be taking on my man Newty, coach of the Thomasville Tyranitars. He has got a pretty good team. My man has had, you know, a little bit of a rough season. Currently 0-7, but it is his first draft league, and he is gaining experience by the battle. So I definitely think he's improving, and you know, so you never want to take a week off or think you've got an easy one just because your opponent hasn't won a game or anything like that, because my man can definitely bring it. He's got the mons capable of doing it, and I expect to have a good battle. So hopefully we have the right team. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce the mons he can potentially bring to this battle. The Pokemon that he can potentially bring to this battle are Sceptile, Tyrantrum, Raikou, Absol, Zoroark, Azelf, Crobat, Entei, Toxapex, and Whimsicott. So right at the bat, Sceptile, obviously incredibly fast, can be a little bit physical or special, mainly used as a special attacker, but definitely can be physical because it does get Swords Dance, which is better for it to set up, even though because it gets better physical coverage and gets Swords Dance, but it doesn't hit super hard, so it definitely needs that setup to really be doing a ton of damage, but it does get Unburdened, which is kind of crazy. Maybe if we bring Tapu Lele, you might see him run a Misty Seed on the Sceptile to benefit from our own terrain, which would be kind of crazy. Special Defense would get a boost as well, I'm pretty sure. So who knows? It hits very, very hard with like Leaf Storm, and especially after setup can do some damage, and then with Unburden it can sweep you potentially if you don't have ways to deal with that. Next up, like I said, Tyrantrum just hits incredibly hard on the physical side, gets Dragon Dance, gets Stealth Rocks, gets Rockhead, Head Smash, which is insane, Earthquake, I mean, obviously Dragon-type moves, Ice Fang, just hits incredibly hard. And it can even set up a Dragon Dance, so it's just a very threatening Pokemon, so you definitely have to have ways to get around that thing. Next up, he's got Raikou, just obviously really, really fast. That's one thing you're going to notice about his team. He's got a lot of very fast Pokemon. Raikou is none different, base 115 speed. Obviously hits really, really hard with Electric-type moves, and for some reason they decided to give this thing Scald in this generation to hit ground types. Don't understand why Raikou gets Scald, but it does, guys. I mean, what more is there to say? It's one weakness is ground, and they get Skull to hit him and potentially burn him. So it's just crazy. Aura Sphere even gets extreme speed. I know my man has liked to run like a mixed or even a physical Raikou, which is kind of wild. So maybe that comes. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, like I said, priority extreme speed. And then it just hits really, really hard and is really fast. So that's something we're definitely have to keep in mind. Next up, Absol. Absol, very frail and not that fast, but hits just stupid hard. Has like a base 130 attack stat or something like that. Gets Sucker Punch. I think it gets Knockoff as well. Just it's crazy hard, and then obviously can Super Luck with and you know, get crits on you or just wear you down with pressure. So just another very threatening Pokemon there. Hopefully we can work around it though, due to it being kind of frail and not very fast, but still. Definitely can hit very, very hard if it does manage to come. I'm not sure if it's come at all this season, so we'll have to wait and see how that shakes out if he brings it here. Next up, a Pokemon I have a history with, a Pokemon I am very, very scared of, a Pokemon that in Season 2 of IBA, the person that had this Mon, I battled them and I lost. And I definitely think having this Mon played a big part of it because it made me probably not think things through as clearly as I otherwise could have. But it's Zoroark. Obviously, with the illusion ability, is incredibly threatening. You don't know if what you're seeing is actually what you're seeing, so you might play it differently. You might play it incorrectly because it's not actually the Mon that you think it is. It's a Zoroark behind the illusion. Obviously, see another pretty fast Pokemon at base 105 speed. Can be even physical or special. Gets Sucker Punch as well. Gets Knockoff as well, as I'm pretty sure. And then it gets like Flamethrower and Sludge Bomb and Dark Pulse. Foul Play, I mean, this thing hits pretty hard. Obviously, gets Nasty Plot as well. And just with the illusion is just very, very scary. And obviously, as a Dark type, another Dark type, Absol and Zoroark, potentially to give him an immunity to Tapu Lele's Psychic, or Psychic type moves rather, if we do bring Lele in this battle. Just a very, very scary Pokemon. And the fact that you don't, if it comes and it's sitting in there, you never know for sure if what you're seeing is what you're seeing. And those mind games definitely did work on me in Season 2, and I'm very scared about it, being honest with you guys now here. and not just the illusion, it just hits hard and is fast as well. Next up, another very fast Pokemon at base 115 speed is Azelf. Another very, very scary mon at base 120 attack and base 120 special attack. And with the 115 speed, this thing just hits really, really hard on the physical and special side. Can be both. Can be either. Can be mixed. Obviously gets U-turn. And then just super strong moves. And then it gets coverage. It gets knockoff, drain punch. I mean, it gets psychic, size shock. It gets flamethrower. It gets thunderbolt. It does not get ice beam or icy wind or any ice type moves, thankfully. But still gets a lot of coverage and hits incredibly hard and can be physical or special. So like, it's a massive, massive threat, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. Next up, his fastest Pokemon at base 130 speed, which outspeeds everything naturally on my team, is Crobat. So again, base 130 speed, can be even another one of those mons that can be run a little bit physically or specially. Gets some good coverage moves on the special side, like Heat Wave and Shadow Ball. Obviously, on the physical side, we're talking Cross Poison, we're talking Poison Fang, we're talking Dual Wing Beat, we're talking Brave Bird. Just crazy. It hits really hard, or it hits decently hard, not like crazy hard. Most of its best stat is it's definitely his speed, but even gets Infiltrator to go through Substitute, gets U-turn for Switch Initiative, Defogger as well. So Crobat very fast and definitely can put in a lot of work in his utility and can do definitely a lot of different things. Obviously, he's a poison type, gets Toxic that won't miss, so that's something we'll have to keep in mind. Gets Hurricane even. Shadow Ball, I think I already said. I mean, Giga Drain even for ground types. So Crobat can definitely put in work. So, and it's really fast. So we'll have to wait and see, obviously, if it comes to this battle. Next up is Entei. Hits incredibly hard on the physical side, but my man has been known to run a special or even a mixed Entei. Gets Sacred Fire, which is insane because it's super strong. Physical fire type move has a 50% chance to burn you, which is craziness. Obviously, another Pokemon that gets extreme speed, so that priority have to keep in mind. I mean, though, if we do bring Tapu Lele, her terrain would block those priority, but still, nonetheless, things you have to keep in mind. Gets Stomping Tantrum, gets Stone Edge, gets Crunch, and then, like I said, my man likes to run a mixed set with, like, Shadow Ball, Scorching Sands, and Weakness Policy, I think. So that's another thing we have to keep in mind. Another thing he likes to run Shuka Berry on his Raikou to eat up a ground type move, so have to keep that in mind as well. But just Entei, crazy hard, Sacred Fire, and extreme speed, and the 50% chance to burn. And then with you can choice ban it because it's very fast as well. It's at base 100 speed, which outspeeds a lot of our Pokemon naturally. So very, very cool Pokemon. Hits really, really hard and can definitely put in work. Next up, he's got Toxapex, just an incredibly annoying wall. Can be physically defensive, can be specially defensive. Gets Regenerator even to get more health back when it switches out. Gets other abilities like Merciless and Limber. That's some of the things I haven't really talked about, like I said, with some of these different mons. Raikou gets Inner Focus, so it can't be paralyzed, or not paralyzed, so it can't be intimidated or flinched. Entei, same thing. Can't be intimidated, which is good for a physical attacker like that if he runs Inner Focus. But yeah, back to Toxapex. Just incredibly annoying, very, very bulky, can set up Toxic Spikes and get Regenerator, can even run like a Merciless set, which I've seen Gokey do, which is really, really cool. Gets Scald, gets Knockoff, gets Haze, gets Recover, gets Baneful Bunker to poison you if you make a contact move on it. So Toxapex, just a very, very annoying wall, and it's very, very bulky, and can be run bulky on either the physical side or the special side. Some interesting things, though, to keep a note. Thankfully, we do have Tapu Lele, if we choose to bring Tapu Lele, that hits it just dummy hard. If it's fully Fizz Def with no special defense investment, one shot, get out of there. If it's fully specially defensive, we still are doing a minimum of 80% damage to it. So that's really, really nice. That's really, really nice. Can you tell? Maybe we bring a Tapu Lele to this battle. I know all this statistics and stuff. But no spoilers. We'll see when we get there. And then his last Pokemon, another very, very scary Pokemon because of its ability is Whimsicott. Gets the Prankster ability, so it can do so many different things. Can Stun Spore, can Encore, can Leech Seed, can Tailwind, can Grassy Surge, or Grassy Terrain to change the terrain even, maybe. Which doesn't target Lele, so it could work, I think, in theory. But just incredibly annoying, like I said, with Encore and Tailwind and Stun Spore. and Leech Seed even. So Whimsicott, really, really annoying Pokemon. Another fast Pokemon as well at base 116 speed. So just got a lot of speed in my man's team, a lot of offense. Not as much defense. Like Toxapex is really his only Pokemon that's like known for being like bulky wall. I mean, Tyrannitar's got pretty solid physical defense. But outside of that, his mods are mostly offensive with not a lot of bulk. So hopefully we can take advantage of that and use that to our advantage. But without wasting any more of your guys' time, I am going to go ahead and show you guys my team really quickly. Let me go ahead and get over to my other screen here, which you guys can't see. All right, close your eyes for me real quick so you do not see the Pokemon before I reveal them to you. Got your eyes closed? I'm counting on you. I'll let you know when you can open them. I will let you know when you can open them. Okay, here we go, 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 here we go. Are you guys ready? All right, now you can open your eyes. There she is. We got Blossom the Tapu Lele, of course, Psychic and Fairy typing. Level 100 with the Choice Scarf this week. Whoa, that's a spoiler. You guys didn't see that. Shiny Tapu Lele, Blossom as always. With the Psychic Surge ability, obviously, to put up Psychic Terrain, to boost our Psychic type moves, and to block priority against us. We are Modest Nature. The EV spread this week is Modest Max 252, 196 into speed, and then 60 into HP. The way I calculated everything, I'm pretty sure, now I'm second guessing myself, so I'm actually going to do a live check right now. You know what, actually I have the sets imported on this other browser, so give me a moment here. So in theory, anyway, the way with Lele, this way I wanted the set to work is we are Modest Max Special Attack with just enough speed to make sure that we outspeed everything on my man's team that's not Scarf, and even if we get knocked off, if somehow we get our Scarf knocked off, we still will outspeed his slower Pokemon naturally, like Tyrantrum and Absol. But that is something I wanted to make sure of that. Let's say, where's Absol? Where is Absol? Absolutely. We'll give you Jolly Nature, 252 at level 50. You're reaching 139 speed, and then we will show our Tapu Lele set. Tapu Lele, where you at? Tapu Lele, level 50. So, yeah, we are 140 speed minus the Scarf. So, without the Scarf, our speed is 140. So, we will always outspeed a max speed Absol, which is his next fastest Pokemon under Entei, I think. So, it drops a lot. So, he's got Entei at base 100, then his next fast Pokemon is Absol 75. So we will still outspeed the Absol if we get knocked off, as long as it's not Scarfed, of course, and the Tyrantrum and the Toxapex as well. But anyway, that's the way I wanted the set to work. And then the remaining 60 EVs into HP with a move, Psychic, Moonblast, Shadow Ball, and Future Sight. Guys, going to be honest with you, I really did not know what to put for the last move, so I'm not 100% sold on Future Sight. Not sure if I'm ever going to be clicking it, but you never know. We will have to see in the moment if that's something I want to click, because obviously we are Scarfed into Future Sight, so not sure about that one bit. But we're mainly going to be clicking Psychic, Moonblast, Shadow Ball. Those three moves specifically really hit everything on his team for the damage we want to do, are either super effective or just hit stupid hard with Lele, Psychic Terrain, and Psychic type moves. So that's the Lele set. Next up, we have got Toothless the Noivern, Shiny, obviously, holding the Heavy Duty Boots, Flying Dragon typing. When I first built this thing, guys, you can see we are Heavy Duty Boots with Frisk. When I first built this thing, I was running specs on it because I was just like, man, I'm going to do crazy amount of damage with Noivern because I feel like Noivern can kind of just go in here because, again, my man's team is not super duper bulky. So we're just going to hit things incredibly, incredibly hard with the specs. But I ended up changing it for reasons. I'll get there when I get there because I wanted a little bit more support. So we have the Frisk ability, obviously, and our EV spread is Timid 236 into speed, which allows us to speed everything that is not Crobat or Scarfed Mons, of course, or Setup Mons as well. And then 252 into special attack, and then the last 20 EVs into HP with the moves. Draco Meteor, Defog, U-Turn, and Boom Burst. That collection of moves really just, Draco Meteor and Boom Burst really just hits everything on his team really, really hard for as much damage as we possibly could want. Defog to potentially get rid of hazards, and then U-Turn for switch initiative. Like I said, originally when I built this, I was specs with not Defog, with Switcheroo there to potentially trick my specs onto something. But I really, really just wanted Defog because I have a feeling he might get Toxic Spikes up in this battle with his Toxapex, and that could be incredibly annoying. So I really wanted to go a little bit more support with Noivern, take off the specs, and just put boots on him, and then go for Defog. My man really doesn't have a lot of rockers, so that is something maybe I could go leftovers on Noivern. I think his only Stealth Rocker is Tyrantrum. No, that's not true. Azelf gets Stealth Rocks as well, I'm pretty sure. So, I don't know. We'll stick with the boots. Leftovers might be nice, but we'll stick with the boots. We'll stick with the boost. U-turn for Switch Initiative. Draco just hits Draco for Draco. Stab hits things hard. And then Boom Burst just hits everything else incredibly hard. He's got no Ghost types on his team. No Steel types on his team. His only resistance to Boom Burst is Tyrantrum. And Tyrantrum does not have very good special defense. So, it's still going to take a decent amount from Boom Burst. And then, obviously, it definitely doesn't want to take a Draco. So, that's our Noivern set this week. Next up, we got Hungry the Hippowdon holding the Rost Berry. Obviously, as you guys can see, we have the Rost Berry to potentially heal a burn if we get burned in the battle. Originally, I had leftovers on this because I like the leftovers recovery, but, you know, I do think there's a decent chance we could get burned in this battle. So, obviously, the Intake can burn us with Sacred Fire. The Toxapex could burn us with Scald. So, these are all things considered reason why I wanted to run Rostberry, because leftovers would be nice, but if we get burnt, it's going to be very, very, very bad for Hippowdon. So we definitely do not want that to happen. So that's why we're rocking out with the Rostberry. Hopefully it pays off for us in the battle, and I don't regret not having leftovers, of course. But we are a little bit of attack invested. As you guys can see here, we are adamant in nature. So the way our EV spread is working, we are adamant nature, just 60 EVs into attack. And then the 252 max HP, and then the last 196 into physical defense. And the reason why we have a little bit of attack investment into Hippowdon this week is because Earthquake is a guaranteed 2-hit KO on Toxapex, on max PhysDef Toxapex. Especially when you factor in Sandstorm Chip. It should be a guaranteed 2-hit KO on Toxapex. Obviously, he can kind of recover. If he has Black Sludge, that might make it not a 2-hit KO. But if he's recovering, stalling with Black Sludge, then he's not attacking me. So we're just sitting there chilling. And maybe he eventually switches into something else to be immune to the ground type moves. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when that moment comes. But as you can see, we are Sandstream ability. Obviously, like I said, getting Sand Chip on things a little bit. So that is our EV spread for Hippowdon. And the moves we're running on Hippowdon is Earthquake, because Earthquake just hits a lot of his mons super duper hard. My man has got a massive ground type weakness. I mean, he has helped it. It was a lot worse early on in the season. But, you know, he does have Sceptile, which resists ground. He does have Whimsicott, which resists ground. He does have Crobat, that's immune to ground. And he does have Azelf, that's immune to ground. But outside of that, Tyrantrum, weak. Raikou, weak. Absol, don't want to take it. Zoroark, don't want to take it. Entei, weak. Toxapex, weak. So that's the reason why Hippowdon is a little bit more offensive this week, because we're really going to pressure him with those moves. Obviously, Toxic, potentially Toxic his switch-ins. Obviously, we can't Toxic the Toxapex. Obviously, we can't Toxic the Crobat, but these are things we can do. And then maybe Stealth Rocks if we get the chance to put them up. And then Rock Tomb to potentially hit his Flyers or his Earthquake immunity Pokemon and lower their speed, which is never, ever a bad thing. So that is our Hippowdon set. By the way, guys, I apologize if I'm sniffling a little bit and wiping away a little bit of nastiness. I am recovering a little bit from having major allergy fit yesterday. So my apologies for that. Hopefully it doesn't disgust you guys too much. But anyway, that is our Hippowdon set. Next up, we have Mysterio the Hitmontop. Fighting type, obviously level 100, holding the Assault Vest. Could have gone leftovers this week, but I think it was nice because I really didn't know who I wanted to run, what investment I wanted to run. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go Hitmontop. I'm going to throw an Assault Vest on there. Spoiler alert, we are physically defensive. So we're physically defensive and with Assault Vest, so we're specially defensive as well. So our EV investment is we are Impish, max physical defense, 252 HP, and then the last 4 into speed for a particular reason, which I will explain to you guys here in a moment. Obviously, we are Technician ability with the moves Mach Punch, Bulldoze, Rapid Spin, and Sucker Punch. So, yes, we do have a Rapid Spinner in Hitmontop, and he does not have a Ghost type in his team, so he's never going to be able to spin block me unless he's protecting or something like that. So we do always have Rapid Spin, but we aren't Boots, so we would get Toxic Poisoned or whatever. because of the Toxic Spikes. So that's really why I wanted Noivern to be on there as default, because I really wanted multiple options, because Toxic Spikes could be very, very, very bad for us. So that is something I do not want to deal with. And then obviously Mach Punch with Technician Boost does pretty decently well against a lot of his mods. I mean, Sceptile's going to do decent, Tyrantrum is going to do decent, Raikou, okay, Absol, good, Zoroark, good, Entei, okay, Whimsicott, negligible, but hey, it'll still hit it. And then Bulldoze to potentially lower speed, which is boosted by Technician, so it's 60 base power move. It's going to be boosted by Technician to get to 90 base power, and obviously lower things speed, which again, never a bad thing to lower things speed, especially like the Raikou. Even the Zoroark could be nice, maybe the Entei, maybe the Whimsicott is nice, so all those things could matter to lower their speed. And then Rapid Spin, obviously, to get rid of hazards. And then Sucker Punch to potentially maybe surprise some things like the Azelf. Outside of that, we're mainly going to be wanting to go for a Mach Punch with our priority, even though Sucker Punch does more because Sucker Punch is 70. Well, no. Mach Punch with Technician and Stab is going to do more. So, yeah, never mind. We're always going to run Mach Punch. But anyway, the reason why we do have those 4 EVs into speed on Hitmontop is because if we are able to get a Rapid Spin off, or we are able to Bulldoze against the Tyrantrum, we will outspeed it. Because if he's max speed Tyrantrum, Tyrantrum's base speed, by the way, is 71. Hitmontop's is 70. So Tyrantrum at base 71, if it's max speed, we are able to get either to +1 on Hitmontop or -1 with a Scarf on the Tyrantrum. We'll always outspeed. Now that I'm thinking about it, not that big of a deal because it's not like we have close combat or anything. We have Mach Punch is our best way to hit it anyway. Well, Bulldoze maybe more. I don't know. I have to calculate when the time comes, but I don't know. It made sense when I was building it. It really doesn't matter too much that we put the 4 into speed and not attack or something. So, you know, or special defense, whatever it is. Maybe I'll regret not putting that last 4 into something else. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that's why I build it the way I build it. I like Hitmontop here because, like I said, it does give us a spinner. It is decently bulky. You can take a couple of hits from some things, maybe chip them down a little bit. Obviously, Bulldoze would be nice to lower things speed. Mach Punch is really, really nice chip on, you know, obviously the Zoroark and the Tyrantrum and Entei and Raikou. So just having that Mach Punch Technician boost is going to be a really, really nice option for us. And then Sucker Punch as well, maybe to catch the Azelf off guard. It did catch my man RebelTrainer's Latios off guard last week, so maybe it'll do the same thing in this one. Like I said, with the Assault Vest, so we're just super duper bulky on both sides. Next up, yes, that is right, we are bringing Lycanroc back after a couple of weeks off. As you guys can see, we are Sandstream on Hippowdon, and so we have our boy Aspen, the Lycanroc here, with, spoiler alert, the Sand Rush ability to be able to take advantage of that sand to double our speed. The reason why I wanted to run Lycanroc here, like I said, originally I was Specs on Noivern, but then that was before I had Lycanroc on the team. I brought Lycanroc on the team. It's like, okay, I don't need as much offense out of Noivern, so I'll go with the offense on Lycanroc. Obviously, Lycanroc can definitely hit things really, really hard. Like I said, my man does not have a ton of bulk on his team, so if the Tyrantrum is chipped a little bit, and if the Toxapex is dead, I mean, Toxapex is crucial here. We need Toxapex to be dead because if not, we're just not going to be able to make this thing work. So we have to hope and pray Toxapex is dead. Otherwise, Lycanroc is going to struggle because we just don't do enough damage to it. I'm pretty sure I didn't calc anything, but I just assumed we're just not doing enough damage to it to be able to win that battle. Obviously, with the Life Orb to boost all of our attacking moves by 30% damage. Rock type at level 100. With the Sand Rush ability. So I really wanted to run Adamant, guys. I really, really, really did. But again, I just couldn't. Because if we are Adamant, potentially the Zoroark could outspeed us. I mean, obviously, if the Sand's up, we're going to outspeed them no matter what. But I wanted to run Adamant. But in the event we need to bring Lycanroc in there without the Sand up, I want to make sure we're outspeeding the things that we should be outspeeding, like the Zoroark. You know what I mean? So all of those things matter. And, but yeah, we are Jolly with 204 EVs into speed, which is all we need to make sure that we'll outspeed everything on my man's team that is naturally slower than Lycanroc. Then obviously with the Sand, we're going to outspeed everything, minus an Unburdened boosted Sceptile. So that could also be a thing that we have to keep an eye out for. Unburdened Sceptile would outspeed even Sand Rush boosted Lycanroc, because Sceptile's base speed is 120, which is faster than Lycanroc's at 112. So, with the moves, Excel Rock, Drill Run, Stone Edge, and Close Combat. So, these 4 moves really just do all the damage we want, right? So, like, Sceptile's base defense is 65. Like, It really does not take a Stone. I mean, I don't know if I don't think it one-shots, but Stone Edge does an absurd amount of damage to it. Then obviously we have Drill Run, which hits Tyranitar, Raikou, Entei, Toxapex, Stone Edge. Or I already said Stone Edge. Stone Edge almost one-shot Sceptile. Almost one-shot, does a considerable amount of damage to Raikou. So again, we're going to need a lot of things chipped. Otherwise, we're not going to be one-shotting everything. So that is a little bit of a concern, but hopefully these things are chipped. And then obviously with Sandstorm chip as well, that might help us. But Absol doesn't want to take a Stone Edge. You know, a Sucker Punch is going to do a lot of damage to us, but hopefully we don't die to it. But Absol, incredibly frail, does not want to take a Stone Edge. Zoroark, incredibly frail, does not want to take a Stone Edge. Azelf, pretty frail. Stone Edge does a considerable amount of damage. I could have run Crunch to have a better chance to one-hit KO, but I really couldn't fit it on the set. I mean, maybe I could have got rid of a Cell Rock. Maybe I don't need that, but it could be critical. Who knows? Obviously, Crobat does not want to take a Stone Edge. Entei does not want to take a Stone Edge. Whimsicott does not want to take a Stone Edge. Now, Toxapex, on the other hand, like I said, that thing could be kind of difficult for us to work around, so I'm hoping that thing is dead by the time Lycanroc hits the field. Otherwise, it could be a rough outing for us. We never know. And then, last but certainly not least, we have my boy, Mick Fatty, the Snorlax, holding the leftovers. This man put in so much work for us last week, guys, against Rebel. He got 2 KOs, killed the Corviknight, which was the biggest kill of the battle, which really helped open up my team and just made it a little bit easier for me to maneuver and to eventually pull that battle out and win that thing. So, really happy with Snorlax last week. I'm hoping he can put in a ton of work for us again here this week. Big Fatty the Snorlax holding the leftovers. We are immunity ability, so we cannot be poisoned. So, Toxic Spikes, no. Toxic, no. Baneful Bunker, no. Doesn't matter to us. So, we are Careful Nature, 252 into Special Defense, 252 into HP with the last 4 into Attack. No speed investment. Honestly, crazy enough, Toxapex naturally outspeeds Snorlax, but you know, that is what it is. I don't really care about outspeeding the Toxapex because my man's Toxapex is doing 0 to me. When I say 0, I mean after my leftovers recovery, it's doing like 0 to me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if he's physical and has like liquidation or something, he could lower my defense and it's doing something at that point in time. But Scald, not doing it. Knockoff, not doing it. And I know my man has a very similar Toxapex set, so I am kind of taking advantage of the fact that he does like to run the same set as Toxapex, it seems like to me. Baneful Bunker, Scald, Recover, Toxic Spikes. That's I think his most common set that he runs with it. Obviously, we hardwall the crap out of that. If he does not have Haze on his Toxapex, that's another thing. He likes to lead his Toxapex every week, it seems like. I'm pretty sure he leads Toxapex and tries to get up Toxic Spikes. So I'm hoping to take advantage of that. If I see Toxapex, I'm throwing McFatty out there first, and I'm going to try to, spoiler, I'm going to try to curse up in his face. If he wants to get up his Toxic Spikes, I'll let him. I will curse in his face, and like I said, if he doesn't have Haze, I mean, once we curse up a few times, Earthquake is doing a considerable amount of damage to it, and then if he Scald burns us, then Facade is doing even buku amount of damage to it. Once we get to if we are burned with the Scald or something, if he burns us with the Scald, Facade just 2-hit KOs Toxapex. And then especially if the Tyrantrum doesn't come, because again, that's his only Pokemon that either resists or is immune to normal type moves. So if we get burned by that Toxapex and we get to +2, like I said, in front of that Toxapex, trying to set up Toxic Spikes or something, Snorlax can almost just blitz through my man's team. I'm just telling you, because like I said there, his team is not very bulky, and then if he doesn't bring his one normal type resist, I mean, Snorlax is just going to put in a ton of work in this battle. At least I'm really hopeful, I'm really optimistic that we can set up, like I said, in front of that Toxapex and just put in work with my man. Obviously, if we don't get burned, then we can still hit the Tyrantrum for pretty big damage with Earthquake. And we do have counter there. I'm not 100% sold on the counter play. Might not be clicking it this week. But if we aren't able to set up a curse or something, then maybe we can pull off the counter on something like the Tyrantrum or the Entei or something. But yeah, honestly, like I said, I hope he doesn't bring Tyrantrum, because if he doesn't, then Snorlax can kind of maybe put in a ton of work here. Earthquake goes in on his team, like I said, and the Facade, especially if we get burned, man, it's just doing a crazy amount of work. So that's the team. Hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully we can put in the work with Snorlax and the rest of our mons, like I said, like I hope that we can do. This is the team. go ahead and take a look at it really quickly there while I tell you guys the 6 Pokemon I think he's going to bring to this battle. Like I said, he brings, I think every single week he brings Toxapex, Entei, and Raikou. I don't expect this week to be any different. So, Toxapex, Entei, Raikou, and I obviously can make a case for Crobat. I can make a case for Zoroark as well, being a dark type, being with illusion, being immune to my psychic type moves. And then maybe Tyrantrum as well as a Stealth Rocker or as a Scarf Revenger. So, like, if I had to predict, if you made me predict, I guess that would be my 6. I would say Tyrantrum, Raikou, Zoroark, Crobat, Entei, Toxapex. So that does still give him only Crobat that's immune to ground type moves. So maybe he opts for Azelf or Sceptile or Whimsicott as well. I don't know, guys. It'll be interesting to see what my man brings to this battle. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this team builder. As you guys always know, if you did, hit that like button, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on my sets. Or hopefully you guys are looking forward to the battle. Obviously, subscribe if you are new and ring that bell so you won't miss any videos going up on my channel. Enable notifications. I just said that when I said ring the bell, so ignore that. I'm a little bit off my rocker tonight, especially, like I said, still a little bit sniffly, messing with my head. Follow me on Twitter, @MetaMech. More content updates on the channel. And without further ado, I will see you guys in the Week 8 battle. If you guys came here to actually watch this, that is awesome. I'll see you guys there. Wish me luck.